And we're live.
Good morning and welcome to show number 7. It's the Pete Braley Show. I'm Pete Braley along with my son Matt, who
That's
is
me.
at the controls. Hello there.
Yes, sir.
I'm actually feeling pretty good this morning, although I don't know why I could not get to sleep last night for a while.
Really?
And do you ever have one of those nights? You must, because you write songs and things. Do you ever have a night when you lay down, you turn the light off and lay down, and all of a sudden your mind just starts going?
I would say 95% of any idea I've ever had has come after midnight.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? While you're getting in bed, or
It's normally because not everybody, and if you do, you're just weird if you're able to fall asleep right away.
Yeah, I can't.
But there's always like that 5 to 10 minute period where you're just laying there, like trying to fall asleep, and that's when all my ideas happen.
Yeah, and last night with me, it was ideas of things to write about, and I was actually starting the writing. I was actually, the paragraph was forming in my head. And then you got that debate, should I write this down? Am I going to forget it?
That's the debate I always have.
Yeah, so.
The other night, it was the retail stuff. I was thinking of retail story ideas, and I sacrificed sleep to wake up
write those down?
And put it in my notes. But it's funny because like you lay there and you're like, I know that once I write this in my phone, I'm just going to start the process over again. And so, but yeah, that happens to me.
It was
almost
crazy.
Nightly.
Yeah. Anyway, I got a good night's sleep. I have a very sleepy puppy at my feet.
Yeah, he is tired this morning.
Yeah. Priscilla is working on the ambulance today. So we have Charlie in the studio with us, and he's really just curled up. I wish I could angle this now.
Yeah.
He's curled up in a ball, just sleeping on a blanket.
There's some mornings where he goes crazy and he's biting all the wires and he's loud, but yeah, for some reason he's tired this morning.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. So we got a lot of feedback yesterday on different things, which is great. I love hearing from you during the day. Again, participate in the live chat this morning, and if you're listening to us later in the day, we do read your comments and emails. You can email us at thepetebraley@gmail.com. And by the way, if you are listening to us live and you only have 10 minutes or whatever before you have to go into work, when you get out of work, you can pull it up and see what you missed.
Yeah, just skip to the part you left off on and finish the rest of the episode. Yeah.
So I got over 100 likes for a picture that I put on Facebook this week. It was my personal Facebook page. One comment asked me what it was. All right, so we have this lovely rhododendron.
There it is.
This is my rhododendron, or I should say our rhododendron, that only blooms about this time of year, and it's absolutely gorgeous when it does.
The only thing I don't like is the amount of bees that are now around the house at all times.
Yeah, it is very popular with bees.
Yes.
And it needs a trim. So I looked it up, and the time to do that, I guess, would be like November. Mm-hmm. November would be a good time to trim it. One comment I got asked me what it was called, because and I answered her. I said that it's a rhododendron, and she said she had never seen that color before. And then Nancy commented that they come in multiple colors. They come in purple, red, orange, white, pink, and yellow. I don't think I've ever seen an orange rhododendron.
I think we need one. I think that would be cool. How long do they take to grow, though? Probably takes a long time.
It's taken that one a while to get that big. Yep. So anyway, thank you very much for commenting on the picture. Gail G. wrote to us and said, I love the fudge recipe on the headstone. So we went and found it for you.
Yep, it's on the screen now. If you want, take a screenshot, and there you go. It's a little blurry, but, you got to work with what you get.
If you missed the story yesterday, this was a woman, she lived to be 97, I think. And when she died, she wanted everyone to have her fudge recipe because she would always make fudge and give it to people. And so she put the fudge recipe on the tombstone. So.
I thought it was funny. I saw it wasn't with the fudge recipe, but I guess some other lady put a cookie recipe. And one of her granddaughters was like, my grandmother always said that you couldn't have her you'd have her cookie recipe over her dead body. And I was like, that there you go.
There it is.
Couldn't get more literal than that.
What should I have on mine? My fettuccine Alfredo?
There we go. Yeah.
It's one of my signature dishes. And I want to jump ahead here because I can't believe how this developed. Yesterday we had a story on show number 6, if you want to go back. We were talking about strange rules that you had as a kid. Strange rules your parents had for you. we had one with Doug. He could not watch The Simpsons because we didn't want him emulating Bart Simpson.
Yeah.
So we got a few comments on that in the live chat, and one was from Diane. And Diane said, because I mentioned, what was the issue? What was the rule? Someone had...
Anytime you said you were bored, you had to...
Dad would...
You had to do chores.
Yeah, or you had to do top 10 of things to do.
Yeah.
So Diane said that whenever she said she was bored, her father would make her write a 500-word essay on how to peel a grape.
Yeah. Brutal.
Yeah. All right, think about it. So I don't know how I agreed to it or whatever, but I said I would have to try that. And Diane said that she would too. So,
and they're both good on their word.
Yesterday afternoon, I took out the iPad and I proceeded to write how to peel a grape, and I got 533 words.
I have to say you were oddly proud of the story. I was here, Kat was over yesterday, and he could not wait to read us this story. And I could not wait for it to be over. But yes, he was very proud of this.
You said I cheated too, right?
I do think you slightly cheated.
Well, I start the story by saying, on the show today we were discussing this, and Diane mentioned that she had to do this as a child. So
I'd say the first
100.
150 words had nothing to do with grapes whatsoever. It was all about why you were writing the essay. So, I mean, I don't know how strict of a grader whoever's reading this is, but I don't know if it would pass.
If you would like to see what I wrote, just before the show, I put it up on the Pete Braley website. So if you go to petebraley.com, you can see the essay of how to peel a grape. So last night's, what time was it? Like 10:30?
It was late.
11 o'clock?
Yeah. I was like on the verge of going to bed, so... Diane had messaged me and said that she actually, I think the first message, I didn't get the second message of the essay until this morning, but the first message said that she was, in typical collegiate style, she was waiting until the last minute, which is funny because that's how I have spent the past 13 years of school, or however long I've been in school. 16 years of school? I don't really want to think about that.
Yeah, 16 years.
That depresses me. But anyways, that's how I would, I don't think I ever completed assignment earlier than 10 p.m.
So we got Diane emailed it to us, and hers was 530 words. And she starts it by saying more fun at age 60 versus age 10. She goes on to talk about different varieties of grapes.
She was more on topic, I will say.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Yep.
She talks about here in southeastern Massachusetts, we are fortunate to have a wide assortment of grape varieties. She talks about something called a cotton candy grape, which they have at the Stop and Shop where she works.
Interesting.
But she said, I guess it's not out in the display case.
Oh, it's exclusive is what I'm hearing.
She said, if I am working, ask me, and it will be my pleasure to find it in the back cooler. If they are in stock, they tend to fly off the shelves.
Interesting.
And she said, yes, Matt, I do know that asking if something is in the back, as if we are hiding the cotton candy grapes for our own pleasure, is on your don't do this list.
Well, I will say this. In my story, nothing was hidden in the back. So if, like, when people ask, the reason I get mad is because everything is pretty much displayed. That's exclusive, though. They need to ask for that in the back. So that one I understand.
So then she goes on and she talks about grape jelly or jam being loved by kids. And she says, I've learned that for the Braley Bunch, the only thing that might surpass the peanut butter and jelly sandwich on Wonder Bread is the Fluffernutter consumed on Fridays. I must say that I am in complete and utter agreement with Pete and Matt and Liam and Kat and Doug and Trish and Sarah.
That right there is how you stretch the word limit.
Oh, keep putting and instead of a comma?
I'm pretty sure proper essay writing would be Matt, comma, something, comma.
Right.
You know.
I am quite certain that I have listed them out of order age-wise, but because Pete outed Sarah about her age, I decided she must be last because she will be ever youthful as long as she can get a nap when the baby naps.
There we go. Little redemption from yesterday.
Something else we discussed yesterday. She says, but I digress. The question is, how does one peel a grape? The answer is, you don't. Just pop it in your mouth and carry on. However, for those of you who can't sleep until you've discovered the solution, number one, choose the largest grape you can find and put it in the freezer. Within an hour, it will be frozen solid. Use a sharp paring knife to gently separate the flesh of the grape from the skin. And number 3, pop it in your mouth and carry on with the rest of your life.
I offer points for creativity for the mentioning the show bits. I do appreciate that. And also, I'm a big fan of when you get an assignment and it says to do this, you say the real answer is to not do it. So, which that is, I do have to say, that's the first thing I thought of when I heard that you had to write an essay on how to peel a grape is who actually peels grapes. What's the point of peeling grapes? I've never seen that at all.
So this is the paragraph that you cheated with.
Yeah.
And you can read the rest of them on at PeteBraley.com. Today on the show, we were discussing weird rules that we had as children. I found out that one of my viewers/listeners had a very interesting rule she had to live by when she was young. Anytime she would say, "I'm bored," her father would make her write a 500-word essay on how to peel a grape. So you say that should not count.
Well, see, here's the thing. The whole point of this is that you're a kid, and your parent is saying that if you say you're bored, you need to write this essay about how to peel a grape.
Right.
I don't think 10-year-old Pete Braley would be able to write about a talk show that he puts on and that a listener came up with this idea.
Okay.
So I think you needed to imagine your younger self. I know it was a while ago, but yeah.
Unless we do time travel, right? Tie in a
True.
plug for Loki, right?
That's true. That today, actually, it should be out. So we're actually going to end the show now because I just realized that I need to watch Loki.
Loki is, a Marvel character?
Yes.
And he has a TV show about him now on Disney+. And I guess it's going to be weird with a lot of time travel.
A lot of time travel from what I'm seeing.
So.
I will say this. It aggravates me that basically any streaming show that comes out on a certain day comes out at 3 a.m. our time.
Does it really?
Because it comes out at midnight Pacific time.
Oh, okay.
And that bugs me because if it comes out midnight Eastern time,
Right.
I can stay up and watch it. I would stay up past my bedtime just so I can be one of the first people to experience that.
Wow.
But now I got to wait an entire day because I can't stop now at 9 o'clock in the morning and go watch it.
No,
it's work.
Right.
It's work time.
Work time.
Yeah.
Coming up today, it's not just Trish with electronics. Yes, I'm guilty here. The average room only stays clutter-free for 17 minutes. Another story about having kids. What song would you say should be banned worldwide? We have a survey. And have you seen the Friends reunion special? We watched it yesterday. And,
that was my second time. Yeah.
Some comments coming up. So, welcome to Wednesday, June 9th. Today is National Donald Duck Day.
I'll support that day.
He first appeared on this day in 1934 in a cartoon called The Wise Little Hen. So happy National Donald Duck Day. Neil White used to do he used to nail it with a Donald Duck imitation.
It pains me anytime someone does one.
Yeah,
because it sounds like it hurts.
I can't do it.
You're in pain.
I can't even get close.
Yeah, no, I don't even try. I would just embarrass myself.
Celebrity birthdays today. Michael J. Fox is 59. Always likes his work. And, of course, Back to the Future.
Love those movies.
Johnny Depp is 57 today. All right, let's get to the news and join us on the live chat with anything that's going on in your life. In the news this morning, a person is in custody after they were accused of sexual assault on board a Steamship Authority ferry. After the ferry docked at Woods Hole yesterday, the alleged victim, an 18-year-old woman, reported the assault to Falmouth Police. State police say by the time troopers responded to the scene, the alleged assailant had fled. An alert was issued for the suspect, and a state trooper later stopped a vehicle on Route 28, and the suspect was the passenger in that car. 20-year-old Bruno Sanchez de Jesus of Dorchester was arrested and taken to the Bourne State Police Barracks. He was charged with 2 counts of rape. A bill that is set to be debated Thursday in the Massachusetts House would extend some pandemic emergency policies past June 15th, which is when the state of emergency will expire. The State House News Service reports extensions for early voting for mail, remote-only public meetings, takeout cocktails, and eviction protections are on the table.
I'm glad we got our priorities straight. Takeout cocktails being in there.
Right in there, yeah. Cocktails to go would be allowed through March 1st of 2022 under the bill, By the way, the takeout and delivery orders helped many restaurants survive the pandemic, so
Yes.
that's why they wanted to continue, I guess. Early voting by mail could take place for any local and state elections until December 15th of this year. Remote meetings could continue until April 1st, 2022, which is when eviction protections would also expire. The New Bedford Whaling Museum is offering free admission passes to anyone who gets a coronavirus vaccine at a clinic at the museum today. In addition, the first 25 people who get a shot will also get a gift bag from the museum's gift shop. The clinic will be administering the Pfizer vaccine, which has received federal authorization for use in anyone aged 12 and older. Pre-registration is encouraged, but walk-ins are also welcome to get a shot, which is free. A majority of Americans who are not planning on getting vaccinated against the virus are unlikely to change their mind. Researchers found that 24% of adults in the U.S. do not plan on getting vaccinated, and of those, 78% say they are unlikely to change their opinion on receiving the vaccine.
And we're back, I guess, hopefully.
Hello? Matt was saying the one thing we can't control is
the internet.
The internet, yeah.
You spend months planning the show, and he every single day he plans all the content. We never run into that issue. We never run into many issues, but the internet is our demon.
I was worried about going back to waking up every morning at a set time, but
and we really haven't had a problem with
good,
that. Knock on wood. We have like a shower schedule that works out perfect, but no, the internet is what takes us down.
Even Charlie's been great today. He's kind of sleepy down by my feet, but just the internet kind of dorked on us.
We hope you're back with us, and we apologize sincerely.
So it appears we left off just before our last news story.
Yes.
Which was about the Apple Wallet app, which will soon allow users to store their driver's license. The ID will be encrypted and will be stored in the same secure element as users' credit cards, transit passes, and airline boarding passes. I'm still leery about
I just don't really know
safety.
how. Like, I wonder, if you get pulled over, does that count?
Yeah.
If the officer's
license or registration?
if you just, here's my phone.
My phone. Yeah.
Sorry, I had Candy Crush open. Here's my license.
Evidently, the TSA, the Transportation Safety Administration Association, whatever the A stands for.
Yeah.
They are going to be okay with this, and you'll be able to use it. Get this, though. It says, at participating states' airport security checkpoints. So does that mean...
Some might.
Yeah.
So at that point, you probably just still have to carry your license.
I would think so.
Yeah. I maybe for small things... maybe I don't know if it would ever work at a liquor store, or if you're running an errand and you need a license for something, maybe. But if I'm flying, I'll probably just keep my license on me. It'll just be easier that way.
All right, Red Sox again had trouble with the Houston Astros. What is it with that? I don't think they're banging garbage cans anymore. But
maybe they found a different way to cheat.
Yeah, they just have an easy time with the Red Sox, and they did again last night. We'll get to that in a minute after our first story this morning about the average room stays clutter-free for only 17 minutes. Now, this is according to a new study. The average home goes through 2,184 pounds of laundry a year. And kids may be a large part of the reason why. Now, the story says the average child goes through 3 outfits on a typical day, which I don't know if I believe that's. I mean, obviously, when the child is younger... and Liam is under 2.
Yeah,
I'd say he might go through 2 outfits a day. I
on a really bad day,
3.
3. Yeah.
Researchers asked 2,000 parents with children between the ages of 3 and 18 about home messes, and they found that kids are so active and they are so messy that the average room only stays clutter-free for 17 minutes. The survey also shows the living room, the main bathroom, and the kitchen are the hardest hit areas of the home.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah. Now, forget the terrible 2s. They say it's the spirited 7s that on average are the messiest of the bunch. I have never heard that phrase.
Yeah, I've never heard the phrase. I guess that kind of makes sense, though.
The spirited 7.
A lot of toys at that age, I guess.
Yeah, Yeah, a 7-year-old would make more of a mess.
Because I feel like younger kids. Well, Liam like picks up his toys.
Yeah,
but with Sarah.
Right.
But I feel like at that age, it's the kid's responsibility to pick up most of the time. So
and he can
maybe that's why
he can make a mess like with his Legos.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
But on a normal day, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
The rooms that stay clean for the shortest amount of time are the living room or family room, the main bathroom, and the kitchen. That's followed by the master bathroom and the children's bedrooms.
Yeah. I guess that makes sense.
And also chores that kids like to help out with. You mentioned helping to clean up.
Yep.
The number one chore is they like to load the dishwasher.
I guess if I got to choose one of those chores. I remember as a kid, I used to always wash the floors. I feel like that was
your
mine.
job?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was
Everybody
Saturday
had
chore
jobs.
day. Everyone
Yep.
had a job.
Yep. Number two is clearing the dishes, which...
See, I think that's the
Liam
easiest.
helps with that.
I don't really consider that
A chore?
a chore because that's
Yeah.
kind of like a daily thing.
Right.
I would say.
Actually, coming in third is cooking meals. Kids like to cook meals. And again, you don't think of that as a chore, do you?
No, for chores, this is probably just because like Saturday chores are stuck in my brain. So it's like washing the floors, vacuuming, dusting.
Number
bathroom.
4 is taking out the trash.
Mm-hmm. Again, though, I don't really like. That's what 30 seconds of your time. I don't
30
really.
seconds
That's
on
just kind of like a quick thing. I don't know if
whatever
that's
trash
a
night is.
chore. Yeah.
And coming in last is helping with the laundry. 23% like to help with the laundry. You've been doing your own since
for
what?
a long time.
Yeah.
I feel like we all kind of started doing our own laundry in high school, maybe middle school.
Right.
I feel like we've been doing our laundry for a long time.
Well, your mom was determined you would know how. You know?
Yeah, I used to use that as an excuse. I feel like that I don't know how to do things.
Can't do it. Don't know how.
Can't load the dishwasher. I don't know how, and everyone would be like, "How do you not know how?" One thing I did see, I think this might have been on the Bobby Bones show, is they were asking, "Is there a set day you do your laundry, or do you just do it when you do it?"
We have a set day.
For me, it's whenever I need clothes.
Right.
When you run out of underwear, you got to do
is
laundry.
that what? Yeah, isn't that always the
Most of the time. Sometimes it's like if I don't have work clothes, and I say work clothes. I wear sweatpants and a t-shirt to work. Work at a sporting goods store, guys.
Yeah.
It is lovely. But yeah, no. Most of the time it's whenever I need to.
Okay.
Yeah.
In sports, in a repeat of last week's festivities in Houston, the Astros took it to the Red Sox last night, 7-1 in the opener of a 3-game series. The loss snapped Boston's 5-game winning streak, and the two teams will play again tonight. The Bruins are contributing a lot of money to the NHL this postseason. Head coach Bruce Cassidy was hit with a massive $25,000 fine for his critical comments on the officials following Boston's Game 5 loss to the Islanders Monday.
I want to know what that money gets spent on. Like, do they all pool it for like a company vacation? Like
All I know is it went to the NHL Foundation. So
so maybe it gets donated.
Yeah,
that's nice.
Cassidy got his money's worth on Monday night. He let it rip about what he felt about the extremely unbalanced game the officials had going. He said the exact calls that are getting called on us do not get called on them, and I don't know why. He said maybe we need to sell them more. Flop, but that's not us. Yeah, I can see the commissioner not being happy with that.
I mean, I feel like that's just fun, though.
Fun?
When people talk trash about anything, it gets viewers, man.
Yeah.
What's the NHL upset about?
The Los Angeles Lakers star LeBron James is the most hated player in the NBA, according to Twitter. Sports Insider looked at Twitter data over the last month with over 70,000 tweets, hashtags, and direct keyword phrases about disliking NBA players. LeBron was the most hated player in 24 states, followed by Brooklyn Nets guard Kyrie Irving, who was the most hated player in 18 states. Nets teammates James Harden and Kevin Durant tied for third with 3 states each. So
I just feel like it's not even a case of he's so good that you hate him. I feel like that can happen sometimes where a player is just so good that they keep beating your team and you hate him.
Right.
The problem with LeBron is he is phenomenal. Best basketball player in the league right now.
All right.
I'm not going to get into the MJ debate.
Right.
But he just does so many things that make you go, seriously, man? Like, you're the best, and you're doing that. Like when he walked off the court before the game was over the other night.
With 5 minutes left in the game.
And when all the flopping, and it's just, there's so much to not like about him, and it's like, come on, man. Like, you're the best in the league.
Yeah, and his tweets are always I, me.
That's one thing I didn't notice.
And his interviews, too. Yeah, next time you see an interview, he's always I, me. It's never us, our team.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
that's like, I remember when he won with the Cavs. I remember during like the celebration, like the trophy thing, he was just like laying on the ground, and it's just another one of those things. It's like, we get it, man. You're tired, and you carried this team all the way, but like, seriously, dude, like, just stand up for 5 more minutes. I don't know.
Couple of entertainment stories for you this morning. A Friends theme cruise is going to set sail in 2022.
I want to go.
The Friends cruise will take place from May. I got the dates for you.
Here we go.
May 15th to the 21st of 2022.
I'm busy that weekend.
On the ship Celebrity Equinox. Now, the cruise embarks from Fort Lauderdale with stops in Key West, Grand Cayman, and Cozumel. It will offer 500 Friends fans an experiential getaway, complete with a themed costume contest, a trivia game, and more fun activities. It does not say if any of the cast members will be there, but I
would think probably not.
Really?
Yeah, that would be my guess. I've never been on a cruise, but you have.
Oh, yeah.
Do you, like, is it, like, when you think of a vacation, is that top of the list? Or is it kind of like it's fun, but I wouldn't do it many times?
For me personally, I would put it at the top of the list.
Really?
Yeah,
it was that good?
Yeah, but there are other people that don't like it. You know, they say, "Oh, you're trapped on that ship for."
Was
a whole
the room
week.
Small?
Yeah,
it is pretty small.
It is small. Yeah, it's like a dorm room.
Well, I want to go. So if anyone wants to buy me a ticket, let me know.
Well, I do owe you a graduation gift, right?
Yeah, there we go.
You haven't said what you want yet.
Friends cruise.
So. Yeah, there are suites though, I guess, on some of these ships.
Oh yeah,
because we haven't gone on a cruise.
That was a while ago.
Yeah.
I remember we redid the hardwood floors while you guys were gone.
That's right. That was a surprise.
That was a pretty cool surprise. That was Doug's idea, I think.
Bermuda cruise.
Shout out, Doug.
Jennifer Lopez signed a multi-year first-look deal with Netflix. Under the deal, J-Lo will produce a slate of film and television content that showcase diverse female actors, writers, and filmmakers. And Rob Zombie has confirmed his reboot of The Munsters is really happening. Do you know what The Munsters was?
No. It sounds familiar, but I can't picture it right now.
It was a 1964 sitcom about the family of friendly monsters who relocated from Transylvania to an American suburb. It was good.
I do have to say, we were watching the Friends reunion. We'll get to it later. But there was a part where they mentioned that Matthew Perry, who plays Chandler, was about to do a series about something about LAX.
About the baggage handlers.
In the year 2194.
Yeah.
And I said how that was such a stupid idea, and I don't know how anyone approved that to actually go to production. And now that I'm hearing this description, I take that back, because if you read me that description, it was like, hey, we're thinking about making the show, I'd probably say, like, that's
never going to work.
The worst idea I've ever heard in my life. And so I stand corrected.
Now, Rob Zombie wrote on his Instagram, he said, "Attention, boils and ghouls, the rumors are true. My next film project will be the one I've been chasing for 20 years, The Munsters. Stay tuned for exciting details as things progress." We shall see.
There we go.
All right. I hope people are back with us.
Yeah, we do have some chats here.
Oh, good.
Let me get to them. Abby, who actually said in the first live stream, she said good morning, and she said the picture of the rhododendron was very beautiful.
Oh,
I didn't have a chance to read that before we got kicked off.
Yeah.
But Abby, thanks for being back. It's awesome that you're here every day. We love it.
Yep.
She said, I can agree with the Spirited Seven. Have you ever heard it? Like, do you refer to it as the Spirited Seven? Because I didn't know there was a name for it.
I've never heard that name. But I mean, there's the Terrible Twos.
Yeah. Is there anything else?
Well, I had my own word for what the fours were.
Is it? It's probably not appropriate for air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can, because the internet doesn't have those rules.
That's true.
It's not my thing to.
That's true. That's my thing to swear. She also says we weren't allowed to do a bad job at chores we knew how to do. Mom would say we would need more practice and have to do that chore every day until she said so.
Whoa.
That's brutal.
Yes.
So you just had to master it. Diane says, just now able to get on live. Congrats, Pete. You won the word count there, but I do believe I won the topic and creativity. I agree with that.
Yeah, I would.
I agree with that.
Hats off to Diane, yeah.
Yes.
And by the way, Diane, is it okay if I post your essay on my website so people can see both?
There we go.
Yeah, let us know in the chat.
Abby also says, I loved the Munsters, and she said, I never heard of that before. Terrible Threes. Would you say?
She never heard of the Terrible Twos, or?
That I don't know.
Okay.
But she does say terrible threes. So would you say that threes are worse than twos?
They might be. And I always felt that the terrible twos started at about 1.5. And,
yeah, I remember you saying that.
I saw that again with Liam.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wouldn't say he was terrible. I'm just saying that.
That's when no became a very
and that's when
prevalent part of his vocabulary.
You know, he's discovering, he knows what he wants, and if he doesn't get it, he throws a little fit, you know?
Diane says thoroughly frustrating threes.
Okay.
That's good.
Frustrating threes.
Oh, she never heard of the 7 one.
Yeah.
18 months is ... trying. So there you go, 1.5.
All right. Again, we'd love to hear from you in the chat, or if you are watching this later in the day. We had some internet issues today that,
yes,
thank goodness, have been corrected. Another story that I mentioned we do today is what song do you think should be banned worldwide? I love the stuff that people, speculate about.
Anything I write from this point forward
should be banned
worldwide.
You were excited yesterday, though.
I was.
You felt like finally some lyrics came to you or whatever?
To a point where, I don't know, I feel like when you get deep enough in the process, you don't know if something's actually good or not. But I will say that I had been struggling with phrases because, like we were talking about yesterday, the thing about music is you have the story you wanted to tell, and I had the story in my head, but I couldn't make the phrases fit together. And I feel like that's when you can tell a song is written by an amateur, is when it sounds like they're forcing the words into a place they don't fit. And so basically I was trying to come up with a way to say these words, and but it was the second half of the chorus. So the first half of the chorus was one melody, and the second half of the chorus was supposed to be the same melody, but I was trying to fit phrases that didn't fit the melody. So I was trying to change the melody, and it sounded bad, and I was doing everything on the computer, and finally I stepped back and I picked up my guitar and I was just playing it and singing it, and I took out some words and reworked the phrases, and it all fit together. And so it was the best feeling because, like, in the matter of 2 seconds, I don't know why it happened and I don't know how it happened, but everything fit together and the song was done.
Divine intervention, my friend.
Yeah. It was really good. Hopefully you guys can hear it sometime.
Isn't it amazing how the creative process, how these things come together?
That's one thing I have to give to this class, and I'm really glad I'm taking it, is I feel like I've learned how to make songwriting less creative, and let me explain this. Like, when I started, I tried, like, you would sit down, you're like, I'm going to write a hit, and you sit down with your guitar, and you try to do everything at once. You're like, this is how you write a hit.
Yeah.
But this class is like, hey, do this, just do that, and then do this, and then do this, and then it all comes together, as opposed to trying to do it all at once.
Okay.
So it's more of like a structured, it's more of a structured and digestible way to write it. So that's one thing I've already picked up, and I'm enjoying it.
And it's amazing, actually, to hear this come together, because he jokes. He'll come downstairs and he'll say, "So are you enjoying my little craziness?" Because I only hear the parts that you're putting together.
The thing is, too, is you don't, when I'm recording anything to do with a microphone, so like if I'm recording guitar or if I'm mainly when I'm singing, you can't hear the music that I'm hearing.
Right.
So you're hearing me sing phrases that probably sound atrocious, and you probably pick up on words, and you're like, "What is he singing about? Like, what is happening in his life?" But so soon, hopefully, you'll be able to hear it.
The story that we're talking about is a survey about what song do you think should be banned worldwide, and coming in at number 1 is one that he might have to explain. Is the "Oh No" song?
Yeah, it's from TikTok.
Oh, no.
It's like the "Oh no, oh no, oh no, 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 no." Yeah, it's funny when you ask someone to sing and they don't want to sing. It sounds like crap, but
the comments are that the song is so overused It should be deleted from the internet and banned. Its existence should be erased from history, and everyone who puts this song on videos should be gathered and sent to an island somewhere far away from normal society.
That's a little excessive.
Other songs that should be banned? Let's see what you think.
Okay.
The Macarena.
Party song, man.
Who Let the Dogs Out? If you want to talk about songs being overplayed.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's funny. These songs, like, maybe it's just because, and I hope I don't offend any radio people, but it's like maybe because my mind's in streaming. So it's like, if I don't want, like, I don't know the last time I heard Who Let the Dogs Out, because if you don't want to hear it, you don't play it.
You don't put it on your playlist, yeah. Barbie Girl should be, I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world.
That's another fun one to, like, pull out at, I don't know, a wedding when people are really drunk. And
That's true.
yeah.
Despacito.
I don't have a problem with that song.
You don't?
That's a banger.
This one, all Maroon 5 songs and anything else that features Adam Levine's voice.
That's terrible. Maroon 5 has so many good songs, and I didn't even realize it until they did the Super Bowl, and they started playing all of them, and I'm like, wow, they really do have so many good songs. Yeah. Like, it's crazy.
And people trashed them for their Super Bowl
They're
show.
all bangers, though.
Yeah.
Like, you can't tell me. That's like Nickelback. I will never understand why people hate Nickelback.
I don't get it either.
Nickelback strictly wrote jams. Well, I don't know if he wrote all of them. I'd have to do my research. But, like, all Nickelback songs are jams. Like, I'm sorry.
And you know, people will say, you know, oh, you listen to Nickelback?
Everyone hates. I don't understand the Nickelback
I don't
hatred.
even hate the guy's voice. I mean,
It's a crazy good. It's like a deep, like raspy, like just I don't know. Like
look at this.
It's a rare
photograph.
voice. I feel like,
Yeah.
and the songs. I mean, Photograph is a jam. Rockstar is like one of those fun jams where, like, I don't know, the lyrics are just funny at times, and the concept is funny to listen to, and it's a jam.
This one you might agree with.
Okay.
Songs that should be banned worldwide. How about Baby Shark?
Yeah. See, Baby Shark for me reached its peak when James Corden sang it with Sophie Turner from Game of Thrones and Josh Groban. If you've never heard that, look it up, and that's like it'll never get better than that. That's the peak,
Okay.
and it's like we can retire it now because Josh Groban sang it.
Remind me tomorrow, because I won't hit you with this stuff live, but remind me tomorrow to show you the video of Liam with Baby Shark.
Oh, I don't know if I've seen that. I didn't know he's a part of Baby Shark.
Well, it was the day he got his raincoat.
Oh,
Because
that's right. He has a shark
He has
raincoat.
a shark raincoat.
Yes. Yep.
So, yeah, we'll have to share that with you. And, by the way, show promo, we're going to Virginia Beach this Saturday. So next week, we plan to be live from Sarah's house.
Yeah. We are staying at two different houses, though.
That could be interesting.
So I do still have to wake up very early because I have to drive over. They do live close. We do have some suggestions of songs over here in the chat.
Okay, I got one more to wrap it up, but go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Abby said that stupid hot dog and bologna song.
Hot dog and bologna.
Oh,
The Oscar
hot
Mayer
dog
song?
and bologna, chicken and macaroni. That one.
Okay.
If that's it, that's the only one. That's what comes. I mean, I don't know how there could be another song about hot dogs and bologna. I feel like that has to be it.
Yeah.
She also says, or Ice Cream by Blackpink. I do not know that song.
Okay.
I'll have to look
check
that one
out.
up.
Yeah.
Diane said The Police, Roxanne. Roxanne.
Yeah. That gets a little, with Sting screaming it out.
To me, that makes me smile because in The Office, any Office fans, all I can think of is Kevin. I think this was at Phyllis's wedding.
Oh,
all I can think of
right.
is Kevin going, Roxanne. That's funny. Gail says Watermelon Sugar. Yeah. I mean, that song is just a pop hit. Like, that was just written to be a pop hit, and it is. But it is overplayed. I will say that. See, this is my debate about being overplayed, though. It's like, if something's overplayed, it means it's that good.
I was...
and it hit for some reason.
Yeah.
So.
Showing my age here, I was actually one of the ones that played You Light Up My Life by Debbie Boone. And that was a song that it was in... excuse me. It was in what we call in radio the A rotation. And your A rotation, those songs repeat about once every 90 minutes or once every hour. So, it is going to get, because it's so popular.
That's the thing. Like, anything that's overplayed is overplayed for a reason.
Yeah, and people are tuning into the radio at all different times.
Yeah.
So bringing an A rotation song up every 90 minutes.
Yeah, it's rare that I feel like someone listens to the radio for 90 minutes straight.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It is funny, though, because I feel like people that, like, run errands, they're like, oh, my God, this song plays, like, all the time. I just heard this song. It's like, well, you ran an errand, and you were in there for 90 minutes, and you came back out. It's going to play again. But even, like, I'm going to defend Baby Shark right now.
Oh.
That's probably, like, the best written children's song in a long time. There's a reason it hit, because it was just geniusly written for kids.
Yeah.
It's addicting. The melody is addicting. So props to whoever created it. But all the songs on Cocomelon. We'll say this maybe for Virginia, because we'll be down there and we'll probably be watching Cocomelon. But it's a kid's show and I hate it. I have a feud with it. Let's see.
Why do you have a feud? Okay, we'll get into it when we're there. Yeah.
Abby also says, I don't know why the hating of Nickelback started. Me neither.
Okay, good.
Me neither.
Yep.
It bothers me.
And the last song on the list here of songs that should be banned worldwide, the last song is Mambo Number 5, and any radio station that is still playing it.
I mean, it's another one of those songs, though, that's just like...
What is it? Monica in our life.
But it's another one with, like, the melody is just so, addicting. Like,
yeah.
But I feel like that's also a wedding song, again. No?
I guess so. As you said, when people have had a few...
Yeah, like you just... Yeah. I mean, Scott, you can let me know. Scott's still DJing out there.
Yeah.
I used to be with him, though. I don't remember if you played in these songs. But I just feel like there's certain songs that, like, at the end of the prime, when everybody's drunk, like, you play these songs and people just go crazy. Like, it's not that it's a good song, but people just go crazy.
And doing weddings, it's like you always had to do the electric slide, the cha-cha,
Yep.
All right, so there you go. If you have any other song suggestions that you think should be banned worldwide, let us know.
Yeah.
Moving on, yesterday I had a chance to finally see the Friends reunion special.
Yeah.
My daughter Kat was over yesterday. She ended up with a rare day off from, she's the head athletic trainer at Norton High School, and I guess they had senior prom, and everybody else was having just practices. So her athletic director said, take the day off.
Yeah.
So
I guess that must be the nice thing and the frustrating thing about being an athletic trainer is you get random days off, but also your schedule is never concrete. So.
Right, especially this time of year, if a game gets rained out and they're going to make it up Saturday or something like that. So she came over, and it was her idea, actually. You were craving a nap. And she said, hey, you want to watch the Friends special with me?
Well, the thing is, the way I structure my days is and I'm sure people do this, sometimes, whether it's work, like music carrying me later, or something with the show carrying me later, and I'm up at like 11:30, sometimes midnight, and I know I have to get up at 6:30, I'm like, you kind of have to convince yourself, like, all right, I will get up at 6:30 because I know I can take a nap.
Yeah.
And that's how you already plan your day. Yeah. But Kat comes over... I mean, she used to come over more. Now it's like once a week. Sometimes it's, it could be a couple weeks before she comes over.
She's growing up.
So she was over here yesterday, and she was like, and I'm the only one with HBO Max, which I don't know how I got stuck with that. I work at a sporting goods store on weekends and do this for no money. So I don't know how I'm the financial supporter of this family.
Because you wanted the app.
I guess. So yeah, I'm the only one with HBO Max. So
and you're the only one with Disney Plus.
That's true. Again, I don't understand it, though. I mean, you people have more money than me, I think. So why am I supporting everybody? But anyways, Kat came over, and she knows I have HBO Max, and she was like, can we watch the reunion? And I was like, you know what? I watched it the day it came out because I'm a big Friends fan, Office fan, big sitcom fan. But I was like, you know what? Let's watch it. Yeah. So I gave up my nap for you guys.
There you go. And we appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
It was a good show. If you are a fan of Friends. Now, I'm not as much of a fan as you are. I have not seen every episode,
which is funny because it started before I was born.
Yeah,
I feel like that's the when you see the impact of streaming.
Okay,
is because I'm now a fanatic of a show that started before I was born and ended when I was 5.
Yeah.
So it is cool. Like, people hate on it. You know, they can say, like, you're not a real fan. You didn't watch it live on TV. It's like, I probably know more about it than you, so what about that?
The issue that I had, and if anyone else, you know, with who had kids in the 90s or the what are they? The 2000s, or we call them the aughts, whatever.
Okay. I've never heard that.
The aughts? You never heard
the aughts? That's the 2000s?
AUGHTS it's because I guess if it's it has to do with the 0 years, you know, like 01, 02, 0.
Interesting. I never knew that.
Yeah,
I never
you can
knew
look up the aughts. But anyway, I have never seen most of Seinfeld. I've never
seen Seinfeld.
And the reason is you kids were all born at that time.
That's what Trish says, too.
And we were raising you, and that's why I know so much about Nickelodeon from that age.
Yeah.
Like, I was a huge Rugrats fan. You're right.
Oh,
60,
yeah.
I'm a huge Rugrats fan. The Wizards of Waverly Place, Drake and Josh.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I used to watch all those shows with you guys.
Yep.
So I never saw Seinfeld, and I never saw Friends.
Yeah, we used to talk to Trish all the time about, like, how did you not watch Friends? Like, it was the biggest show and all this. And she was like, well, I was dealing with you kids. But I will say that I think she abuses that answer because she still claims that she doesn't have time for TV. And we're all like, well, we're grown up now, so you can't use us as an excuse. So I don't know what your excuse is, but you can't use us anymore.
But the Friends reunion special, it was so cool. Number one, I guess that was they've only been together in the same room.
They said once since the show
show ended. So it was great.
They meet up in like groups sometimes. Like, I know, like, the girls meet up for lunch occasionally, and so like they've just never all been together since, well, except for one time.
And the way the show is put together, great, because it's not just the six of them sitting there being interviewed by James Corden.
Yeah. Well, I will say real quick, it is an unscripted reunion. So that was a debate for a while on if it was going to be a reunion of their characters, like a scripted part of the show.
Yep.
But that's not what it was. It was of the actors, an unscripted reunion.
And they recreated the set, right?
Yeah.
They had to bring everything back. And the show starts with each one of them individually walking onto the set and go, wow.
And seeing it for the first time since.
Wow. And it just brought back so many memories. And it was cool. They all look good. Some have had some work done. You know, Joey's gotten a little pudgy, but then he's not the only one.
I was going to say, I mean, you're not the bodybuilder over there, Pete.
David Schwimmer looks built, though. He looks like he bulked up.
I want those hair genes, man. David Schwimmer's hair is still on point.
They all had good hair.
Yeah.
That can't be real.
I mean, we'll see.
You know. And one thing I did want to mention is if you're on TikTok or Twitter or any of the socials, you'll see a lot of people were talking about Matthew Perry and about how he looked drunk, he looked stoned.
Some people were worried because he has had drug problems in the past, but some people were saying, like, things about his stroke and all this and all that because of slurred speech. They said he seemed out of it.
Now, when I had my stroke, my speech did get slurred, and I feel it still is at times. I watch this show back sometimes and I go, there it is.
I don't know if people will agree with me, though. I think you're overcritical because you know what you sounded like.
Okay.
I don't think many people walking up to you would know.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I watched the show yesterday. I don't think he slurred that much, but we also found out that he had dental surgery the day of that show.
Yeah, he had like an emergency dental surgery.
And he still had some Novocaine, and we all know what it's like to
have like a
Novocaine, and then someone says, "How are you?"
But also, like, he was quick-witted the entire time. Like, he was cracking jokes very quickly. So I don't really know what the concern. I mean, I watched it the day of, so before all this came out about him, and I never really thought of it. Yeah. Like, I never batted an eye.
So, if you have HBO, see, that's the thing I don't like about these streaming services. If you don't have HBO Max, you can't watch the show.
Well, the thing is, it's becoming cable. So cable, you need to buy packages, and you need to buy this deal and spend this much money. And so now streaming services, like Netflix had everything. Netflix had Friends, The Office. Yep. Netflix had everything. And then people started to compete and take in and buy in the rights to shows and slowly picking it apart. And that's why Netflix is so big on its original shows now. Because if you have original shows, people got to buy it. Stranger Things was huge.
Right.
You know, Outer Banks is big. The Crown is a Netflix original.
Yep.
The Queen's Gambit, I believe, is a Netflix original, if I'm correct.
What's the other
So
one?
all the Netflix originals are huge. Orange is the New Black was an early one that was
Right.
pretty big. But like all these Netflix originals are because people started picking shows away, so that you needed to build up your portfolio. But now there's so many that the costs are probably going to like balance out because cable is like at an all-time high to afford cable.
Oh, yeah, right.
And so now with each streaming service, the price is just going to keep going up.
We are on late this morning because we did have an internet issue that kept us sitting on our phones here for a couple of minutes.
Yes, real quick, we do have some chats.
Okay.
Diane says pivot in all caps. If you're a Friends fan,
Yeah,
you get that.
and they do address that scene.
Yeah, they do have some bloopers as well.
And they show bloopers too. They were laughing hysterically trying to get a couch up the stairs.
Because one thing I like, and then we can be off the reunion thing, is there are certain scenes that they reenact. Like they're sitting at a table, they reread the scenes.
Right.
And it's funny because and I don't know if they watched the old scene before they did this, but like their performance now is almost identical to the actual scene. So it's like that's how you know that like that's them. Because that's their acting, because they did it like exactly, like the vocal like inflections are the same.
And you could see Jennifer Aniston not really reading every word.
Yeah.
You know, she'd be looking at David Schwimmer, and she would just look down at it a little and then look at him.
Yeah.
Because she knew it.
Also, you might find out that Jennifer Aniston and David Schwimmer may have been crushing on each other.
Yes.
I don't know if that's true or if that's just a story. That sounds good to tell, but
it seemed to be true.
It seemed to be pretty true. Yeah. But yeah, so if you're a Friends fan, I highly recommend the special. And no, I will not be sending out my HBO Max password so you guys can see it. Gail says, "What are your thoughts on Schitt's Creek?" I love it. Schitt's Creek is amazing.
I have to watch that. I haven't seen.
You would
any,
like it. Schitt's Creek is good because it's a comedy. It's hilarious, but also like the story in it, which I feel is hard to do, is to create a story that is so like the ending of Schitt's Creek just is really emotional. And so if a sitcom can make you that emotional, like Friends did it, The Office did it, The Big Bang Theory did it, like if you can make a sitcom that's so funny that you could be crying, laughing so hard, but also tell a story that can make you so emotional, it's like that's good TV. That's what, and Schitt's Creek did that for me.
All right, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
One of the things that not bothers me, but one of the things that kind of stops me from watching these shows is I'll be, scrolling through the Netflix offerings, what's trending, what's number one, to see what I want to watch. Yeah. And if I come across something like Schitt's Creek that had how many seasons? Maybe 5, 6? Yeah.
I want to say 6.
Yeah, I look at it and say it has 6 seasons. I'm like, oh, I'm never going to be able to watch all.
It is overwhelming.
That's it. I get overwhelmed and I think, I can't give that much time.
That's something I struggle with. That's why it takes me a long. I don't know if anyone else does this. I take my TV seriously, and especially now because I don't watch nearly as much TV as I used to, because I can't stay up as late. That's when I would watch TV. But my problem is now is when I finish a series, I get into this very like weird state where I'm like, well, I don't know what to do with my life.
Yeah.
What am I going to watch now? I can't commit. It's a relationship. You got to commit to a new TV show. It's tough.
I feel the same way when I finish a good book.
Yeah.
When I finish a book, a very good book, you've been into it for a couple of days, and you finish it, and now what?
Yeah. I go through this process where I linger on nothing for a while. Like I take a break. I take a break from dedicating like to a certain TV show. Yeah. Right now, I feel like I'm in that in between phase. Right. So I'm just like watching some old Friends episode. Well, I watch them in order. That's the thing. I never watch Friends out of order.
Okay.
Kat does say when people ask an athletic trainer what their schedule is, the answer is usually no idea. LOL.
Yeah. That makes sense.
There's no go-to. Kat also says Schitt's Creek was awesome.
Okay. All right. I will take the recommendation.
Dana says old-time rock and roll, excellent tune, but banned at weddings.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's wrong with it at weddings?
The Bob Seger's banned at weddings?
But ban at weddings.
He doesn't want to hear it at weddings anymore. Yeah.
He also says, agree with Matt on the Nickelback lead singer's voice. I don't know why people hate.
I don't know.
It's great.
Do we have anyone that hates Nickelback, and can you tell us why?
I think just people started hating Nickelback, and everyone was like, yeah, we all gotta hate Nickelback. Yeah. Like, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's his hair. People pick on his hair. They say his hair looks like ramen noodles, which is hilarious, but
Now I got to go look.
I think it's pretty sick hair. Abby also says, I love Schitt's Creek. Abby says, I purposely look for a show with a lot of seasons. I mean, it does help because then you're committed to that, so you don't need to worry about a new show for a while. I also don't know how you and Trish watch so many different shows at once. But I will say it's because... Like,
you mean the fact that
they're live shows and you record them, so you watch them week to week. But like you guys watch 10 different shows. Kat does this too. You guys watch so many different shows. Me, maybe it's because I like to keep my life simple in outside aspects.
Yeah.
So that like the crazy stuff is the only crazy stuff. So I don't have to worry about like when my day's over, I put on an episode of Friends. There's no debate. What am I watching? The only debate comes in between shows. But like. Right now, it's like, I know what I'm watching, whatever. I don't need a debate on... Because I hear you guys every day. Trish will sit down and she'll be like, can we watch a show? And you'll be like, yeah, which one? And she's like, I don't know, you pick. And you guys go back and forth for like 45 minutes.
We go to see what we... Not 45 minutes.
I'm exaggerating.
We go back and see what we've recorded. But, in my case, I learn about this new show. Maybe I see a promo on a football game or something. Mm-hmm. I learn about a new show and I check out, say, FBI.
Yeah.
Okay, I watch FBI, and they have a spinoff too. FBI, it's like a
probably a city after
special unit. No, not a city. So I hear about the shows, I watch it. Ooh, that's good. So I make a season recording of it, or Chicago PD, Chicago Fire.
See, I'll say that what worries me about doing that, because this has happened, and we mentioned Flash Forward, that old show that we wanted to watch that one time. What worries me about, and I'm sounding like such like a ungrateful modern kid over here, but this is why I like streaming, is because if a show gets canceled while it's on cable, you might not get the satisfactory ending, and because. Sometimes they cancel it early enough where they can close off the show, but sometimes they don't.
Oh no, they'll just
and so
end it.
Why commit to a show that doesn't end the way I want to? Because then it would just be like, I don't know, it'd be like the Friends theme, and they stop the song before you can clap. Like that's just so annoying to me. And it reminds me of the Big Bang Theory episode where Sheldon's OCD. He needs to like finish a game of tic-tac-toe, but she erases the board.
Oh,
that's what it feels like. If you commit to a show and there's no ending, what's the point of the show then? That would bother me. So streaming, I know, okay, Schitt's Creek ended. I know that, so I'm gonna watch Schitt's Creek. So
okay,
that's all I gotta say. Gail says I restart the series. I've watched Schitt's Creek 8 times so far. That was me with that's Sarah with The Office. Sarah restarts The Office. I don't even know how many times she's seen it. Yeah. I've seen it many times. My thing though is I will not watch the season finale and immediately watch episode 1. I need a break.
Okay.
I like to...
You have to let it sit. Yeah.
I like to forget enough. This is my process. I need to forget the show enough that watching it again brings back a little bit of watching it for the first time.
Okay.
That's my
That makes sense.
I feel like I'm totally nerding out with the amount of thought that goes into my TV intake.
Because I really can't say you watch too much TV. Because I used to. I feel like my freshman and sophomore year of college, my life was college, work, and TV. That was it. There was no... Because that was kind of before music, so I watched way too much TV. I would stay up way too late. I'm talking like 4 a.m. I would hear the birds chirping. That's when I went to bed. Wow. Just
watching TV. So I think I watched way too much, and I was like, nah, that part of my life's over.
Okay, I don't remember those years. I should have been a better dad, I guess. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you were asleep when I was awake, so you didn't know. Now you know.
There is one more story I wanted to get to. I know we're running late today, but we did have that internet glitch, and it's turned out to be a fun show anyway. Yeah. One more thing I wanted to get to, and that is it's not just Trish with electronic issues.
It's not.
No, I got called out on this yesterday, and you're absolutely right. You want to explain? Or
you get called out. This is probably the 5th time I've called you out on it. This is probably just the first time you've listened to me.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
I tell you, both these parents, man, once they get on social media, they tune you out. But no, every time I see it, he goes on his phone or he calls somebody, he gets off the phone, and he puts his phone down, but he doesn't close the screen.
Okay.
So the screen because everyone knows the lock button on the side, which he did not know because I told him to lock his phone yesterday, and
I'm like, what do you mean?
Figure it out.
I mean this thing here.
Yeah. He leaves his screen open. Which, whatever, some people have auto lock or whatever, but he leaves the screen open on 2 very, very important screens. One, the favorites, like the speed dial
Yep.
tabs
Yep.
in the phone app, which with one click of a button you call somebody on that. And he leaves it wide open, and he like puts it, I don't know, under his leg or on the couch or somewhere. And I'm like, dude, this is how you butt dial somebody. And you never want to butt dial somebody and then say something about that person, because how awkward would that be? I mean, I'm not saying we do that, but
Yeah, it would be.
But you never know. And so he does that, and he also the text screen, and it's with iPhones, and I think every phone now, you can send like a voice message with one button.
Yep.
So if you press that accidentally, you're sending people messages you don't intend to send.
Yeah.
And it annoys me because he just leaves his phone open and he does not care.
Well, I don't know how to defend I guess I can't defend myself. Yeah. But I used to have, because if you're saying, what, don't you have a
auto lock?
Yeah, auto lock or a code you have to put in?
Oh, the passcode, yeah.
Yeah. I especially had a passcode when I was taking care of Liam.
Yeah.
Because as much as I would try to keep my phone away from that guy, he would find it.
Yeah. He's big into phones.
If I sat down and was having a cup of coffee and just put the phone there, he'd find it, and he would. So I put the lock screen on. But you can still get to the camera with the lock screen on.
Mm-hmm.
So I would end up with like 17 pictures of the rug.
Yeah. Gail says excellent reason to always be kind. That is true. That is true. But, But even if you're being kind, you could ruin surprises. Talk about gift ideas, and you're calling that person
and so then I took the passcode off because it got to be a pain. Every time the phone went to sleep, I'd have to put in the numbers, So, and the other thing I noticed, if you're saying, well, what about facial recognition?
Mm-hmm.
It could not recognize me with a mask on.
Oh, yes, that is true.
That
is true.
So anytime I'm out and I've got a mask on, I go like this. It just sits there. I don't know who you are.
Well, that's like to clock in and out at work is on an app on our phone, and so to log into it, it uses facial recognition. So I'll be walking through the mall and I have to sneak my mask down and do that, and then put it up and clock.
So, and probably talk about butt dialing.
Yeah.
Probably the funniest story I have is one day I was out grocery shopping. I was at Stop and Shop, and I'm coming out of Stop and Shop, and my son Doug calls me, and he says, "Are you all right?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm shopping. He says, "You butt dialed Marla 4 times."
Which I have to
now,
agree with
Marla's Doug's wife.
If you got a call from someone 4 times, this is my theory with calling multiple times. You call once. If they don't answer, you call twice, because sometimes calls don't go through.
Yeah.
So this happens with Trish a lot. I'll call her and just once, and like later in the day she'll call me. She'll be like, "Hey," I'm like, "Hey, thanks for answering." She's like, "I didn't get a call." I call twice. If I call you more than twice, there's probably something important.
Mm-hmm.
But if I just call you twice, it's probably nothing. I'm probably just about to tell a Charlie story or something.
So what happened was my daughter-in-law Marla was working. She's in what's it called? She loads bombs on planes.
Yeah, because she's also in the Navy.
Yeah. So she was at work on the flight line, and she kept getting a call from me. Now, I love Marla, but I don't call her that often.
You guys don't talk that much.
Yeah, unless, maybe Christmas. Hey, what does Doug want? What size is he? So she was getting these texts, and these calls.
Yeah.
So she sent a text or called Doug and said, "Can you see if your father's already?" He keeps calling me.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's my worst butt dial story.
Yeah, and that is why you lock your screen. I guarantee your screen was not locked. That's why you probably called her a million times.
That's probably okay. I will try to be better.
Dana says ordnance specialist.
Thank you.
Does that sound right?
I couldn't think of the word ordnance. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know. So
that happens to me post-stroke, by the way. I will many times, and Matt Super, he covers for me. But there are times when the word is like floating right there, and I can't get it.
See, but I will say that it happens to you, and you say that it's a stroke thing. But like, I'm 22, and that happens to me all the time. Like, anytime I briefly pause while telling a story on here, and I know it because like you'll be telling the story, and in your head you're like, "What's the word? What's the word?" And you'll try and like work around it. But that happens to me all the time. So I don't know. I feel like
just,
that's just life.
Yeah, I just don't remember it happening that often before the stroke.
That could be.
you know?
It is funny.
And it can be the weirdest word. It was one time I was talking to Priscilla about something, and I looked at it, and I'm like, and my family will go, "What's the word?" And
yeah, everyone makes it a challenge for
I
them.
could not get the word threshold, and underneath the doorway. I couldn't get that word.
But again, I don't know if I was telling that story would remember the word threshold. I'm being completely honest. But it is funny because they do try, and I get why they challenge you to help you out, to get you back in the swing of things.
Right.
But it's funny because he'll miss a word, and they'll be like, what's the word?
What's the word?
And so we were talking about this show, and I think that was like somewhat of a concern. Like, what if you can't find a word? And I was like, I'm not going to be like, no, what's the I'm
word?
sorry, everybody hold on. What's the word?
What's the word?
No, I'm going to be like, it's threshold, if I can think of it, but I guarantee I won't think of it. But yeah, so they like to challenge you.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's about it. That's all we had planned for today. Thank you, and really, we thank you for coming back after a technical glitch.
Hopefully this doesn't happen often.
Yeah. Hope you have a great day today. I have one more day in the walking boot. Then I can hopefully take Charlie for a walk. I haven't been able to do that.
Maybe you can take him outside every now and then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've had a little double duty. Yeah.
Yep.
Anything special today? Are you almost done with the song that you're working on?
Lyrically, it's done. Melody, it's done. Now it's just like the production stuff.
I'd love to talk to you someday about melody, because I'm like,
I'd love to talk to somebody about that too.
no, but how do you come up with it? I mean, where does it come from?
It's funny because
do you just play random stuff on the guitar and say that works.
Well, so the way this class works is like it's broken down. So they're like, there's a video on something, and then you do something, because they do say that when it comes to music and when it comes to production, you can watch as many videos and do this, but it's about actually doing it. So they recommend that you like 30% learn and 60. Well, that's not 100%. 33% learn and 67% do.
Wow.
So that's, you watch videos, and it's funny because when it got to the melody portion, there's an intro to the video. Normally it just goes into the lesson, but there's an intro where, and it's taught by, I've mentioned this before, but it's taught by Ryan Tedder, the lead singer of One Republic. And he says that melody is one of the things that you can't really teach. You can kind of teach. There's certain rules. Like the melody in the chorus is normally higher, a higher tone, a higher pitch than the verse. So like you start the verse down here and you want it to open up in the chorus. So you sing it louder, you sing it higher. So like little rules like that. You maybe start the melody in different places. So if you start on the downbeat in the verse, maybe you want to start at a beat early on the chorus. Like there's little rules like that.
Okay.
But the main thing about melody, and he even says this, he's like, it just comes from nowhere. He's like, it's the one thing where like people are always saying like, oh, I got it from God or a higher power. And he's like, it's the one thing that I can't explain, so I start to think maybe that's it. Maybe it does come from somewhere else. Because what you really do is you pick up a guitar or you loop something, the music, so you just hear the music. And he says you shut off, which part of the brain is the logical part of the brain, left or right?
You got me.
I don't know which one. You shut off your logical part of the brain.
Right brain.
You just go with the creative part of the brain, and you just sing gibberish and go with what sounds good.
Well, that's like Paul McCartney says the classic song Yesterday was originally, I think, Scrambled Eggs.
Yeah, I heard something. He was singing it while making breakfast.
Yeah.
Right?
So it was all about eggs. So.
Yep.
All right, we'll get into that maybe more someday. But
yes.
Excuse me. Hats off to Charlie, by the way, who has slept through the entire show.
Yeah, real quick before we go here, I just want to make sure we get to these chats. Abby said, I tend to get a lot of butt dials because of my name. I'm usually at the top contact list.
Yes.
Yes, there was, you used to always call the same person back in the day.
For a while, it was Marla. So I actually took her off the list.
I remember this was back when like Kat was in high school. I think it was one of the coaches, one from the tournament team or something.
Okay.
I don't remember who it was, but you would always call the same person. I do remember that. Gail said, I haven't had a stroke, and that happens some days over and over again. Yeah. I feel like it's more of a tired thing.
Yeah. All right.
Your brain just doesn't work. And she also says, glad the internet let you on again. It was weird. It would not connect. And then like we shut everything down, gave it a second, it connected, and we're back. And Dana, last thing, says, awesome show, gents. Sorry about the internet burp. The internet burp.
The internet burp.
Yes. Well, thank you guys for coming back. That's one thing we were talking about. We didn't know how many people would make it back, but we're glad.
On tomorrow's show, we do have to tell the story about fan mail.
Yes.
This is show number 7, and
Yep.
we're having a blast. But we've had emails, we've had conversations with folks, but
The first person to get fan mail was Trish.
Trish, yeah,
Trish has a lot of fans.
yeah, she got some fan mail. So we'll
Yeah.
tell you about that tomorrow, and we're hoping she's coming on the show Friday to
That's the
defend
goal.
herself.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
As long as she wants to.
We leave you with this thought for the day, and our thought today: life is 10% what happens to you, and 90% how you react to it.
There we go.
Life is 10% of what happens to you, and 90% of how you react to it, which I totally agree with.
Yeah.
You know? Because we all have things that happen to us. We have disappointments, whether it's a job issue or a health issue, but how you react to it is what really matters.
Yep.
So we will see you tomorrow. Thank you very much. Take care.
Peace.